What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today we're going to take a look and a listen to Representative Larson. He's going to be talking about Social Security reform. He's going to be talking about his plan for Social Security, the Social Security 2100 Act. Now, when it comes to Congress people, Representative Larson is one congressperson that's really pushing for a reform for Social Security. You do have some others that are talking about it, but Representative Larson, I think every time I hear him speak, he always goes to Social Security. He'll talk about other issues, but he'll also talk about Social Security, which I think is good. Because you hear some other lawmakers out there and they'll talk about different topics. Some of them will never talk about Social Security unless they're being asked about it. But Representative Larson will always talk about Social Security anytime you hear him speak. So we're going to take a look and listen to what he has to say. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you'll get notified anytime we post a video. We do daily videos here, so by clicking the bell notification and clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. And just a reminder, thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. And if you'd like to follow me on Twitter and Threads, you can at the TEC Show Live. Okay, so let's take a look and listen to what Representative Larson has to say. Now, this is a radio show, so you're going to see a picture, but you're not going to actually see video. Here we go.
Let's talk about Social Security as well. This is something that you've been very passionate and outspoken about. And for so many people, you know, you're hearing at one rally, there'll be cuts at another, not on my watch. But for those who are receiving and looking forward and ahead to Social Security, the idea that being a political football is really disconcerting.
And especially so, and Laura, I know you know this, but imagine 10,000 baby boomers a day become eligible for Social Security. And Social Security has not been enhanced since 1971. Richard Nixon was the president of the United States at the time. When I say enhanced, meaning any of the programs haven't been improved, people used to say, well, in 83, wasn't Reagan and Bob Dole worked together with Chip? Yes, they did for the solvency of the program. And they did that by raising the age. But here's the kicker. And I know you know this, but I'll bet a lot of your viewers don't. That for every year you raise the age, that's a 7% cut in benefits. So usually our colleagues on the other side say, well, you know, people are living longer, so we ought to raise the age. When you think about it, though, you say, well, if people are living longer, do they need to live on less? And especially a program that hasn't been enhanced. I think a lot has happened since 1971, especially economically, and I think the average citizen does as well. And it's long overdue that Congress step up to the plate and do something that only Congress can do. The president can't do this through executive order. And Congress needs to do something that would shock the American people. Vote.
Okay, so that was interesting what he was saying there as far as people living longer. He was saying you have lawmakers out there saying that people are living longer, so we are in favor of raising that full retirement age. But you heard what he said as well. Raising that full retirement age, for every year that you raise the full retirement age, that's a 7% cut to Social Security benefits. And so you have lawmakers on one hand saying, let's raise the full retirement age, which would be a cut to Social Security. And they're saying that because people are living longer, that's why we're raising the full retirement age. So you're cutting Social Security and you're expecting people who are living longer to be able to manage with less. That's what he is saying right there. And I think that's a good argument. And that's something that lawmakers are really not comfortable with Social Security, talking about Social Security. And I think the easy way for them to kind of justify, okay, let's just raise the full retirement age. That way we don't have to talk about the payroll contribution and making people who earn more money pay more into the contribution or tax those people more. So that let's just talk about raising the full retirement age, because that seems like it's harmless, right? Well, it's not harmless if you're thinking about it, because as I stated, if you're living longer, that would mean that you're going to be living longer with less because you're going to be getting a cut to Social Security benefits. Okay, let's go ahead and get back to it.
It would be indeed shocking, and the idea that it would be is very telling about the state of affairs today. But specifically, I mean, is there the bipartisan support? Obviously, Social Security benefits are not just doled out to either Democrats or Republicans, and yet this issue too often falls along party lines.
Every Republican that I've talked to, and we've included more than 4 or 5 of their proposals in Social Security 2100, they all said the same thing, that they are very supportive of the bill, but, they have philosophical differences within their caucus about bringing it to the floor, but would acknowledge that on the floor facing imagine this, a vote, that they're not going to vote against their own interests. I give every member of Congress a card, Laura, and in it I tell them just how many Social Security recipients they have in their district. And here's the important fact, and how much it brings in monthly income to their district that goes to retirees, children, widows, spouses, and the disabled workers. That is the critical economic development program for every single congressional district. And again, imagine it hasn't been adjusted in more than 50 years.
So when you look ahead, there's always this looming threat I remember people describe, which is by the time, I'm 43 years old, by the time you are eligible for Social Security, there will be none left. That is a thought for many young people as well, younger than I, certainly, who are looking at this and wondering about how and whether to lean in for the support of legislation as relates to Social Security. Clearly, we do have some aspects of our society that are selfless, but when people are supporting legislation, they often want to see that they themselves will gain and benefit from it. Do you have concerns about younger voters not being connected to this issue because of that threat?
Well, I think I have a concern that they're not connected because I don't think people are knowledgeable about Social Security and its benefits. And as we pointed out earlier, it's not just a pension. It's also spousal, dependent, and disability coverage as well, all of which will be critical. I'm from an insurance capital of the world. And guess what? I went to the Aetna school, and what they taught was there was 3 legs on the stool, the financial stool. And the most important leg on that stool was Social Security, because it's never missed a payment. And you don't have to go back to 1929 or the Great Depression. We only have to go back to 2008, 2009 during the recession and see where people's 401ks became a 101k. And they lost that money. And Social Security during that time never missed a payment. The other daunting thing here, Laura, and for more than 40% of all Americans, Social Security is the only benefit they're going to have. Optimally, we want Social Security alongside of whatever pension programs or IRAs people can have. But the brilliance of Roosevelt was recognizing that we needed something that had the full faith and credit of the United States government and has never missed a payment.
Okay, so we're going to leave it there. I will play the rest of this clip in a separate video. This was a long clip. I think it was like 14 minutes, so I don't want to do it all in one video because it would make the video way too long. But you heard some of the stuff that he was talking about there, and he was talking about how Social Security has never missed a payment. And so he gave an example of that 3-legged stool, and that 3-legged stool has Social Security, it has pension plans, and then it has your own savings as far as your retirement plan. Now, Social Security is always paying out. However, some people don't have savings and some people are not getting a pension or they don't have a 401k. And for some people, I think he said about 40% of those people are only receiving Social Security, so they're not getting anything else. Now, that is not the optimal strategy when it comes to retirement. You should have a 401k set up. You should have a retirement plan set up and then have Social Security supplement up to about 40%. But you shouldn't be living just on Social Security. However, unfortunately, some people are living only on Social Security. And so we do need to take that into consideration when we're looking at reforming Social Security, when we're looking at providing an increase for Social Security. Because if we don't do that, we're going to have people who've worked their whole lives, worked 30, 40 years, paid into this payroll contribution, and now when they're retired, they're living under the poverty line. That shouldn't be something that we accept as a country. So I want to know what you guys think about this. So let me know down below. And remember, I'll post another video and we'll take a look at the second half of this interview If you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.